Peace. Okay, it is Esaia Mystic, and I am back with another video. Today's video is going to be about Taurus and the esoteric energy of this sign. If you are new to my channel, my name is Esaia Mystic. Again, I am a spiritual life coach and feminine guide. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Clubhouse, you can find me here on YouTube. So make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell so you can catch all of my videos and things that I come on here and talk about, especially when I go live, because it be popping when I go live now. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about Taurus. We've just moved into Taurus season. What is it, like the end? It's like the end of April. I think it's like April 25th or 26th. I'm not sure, I gotta look at the date. Time evades me. But yeah, we moved into Taurus season, and the energy of Taurus, what most people understand about Taurus, and when we're talking about the exoteric energy of Taurus, the exoteric energy of Taurus is the energy of the personality. This is what most people understand about astrology. When we are talking about astrology, they understand astrology relative to the personality of a person, relative to the maybe future of a person, the past. We're talking about basically just really like the surface level of someone's life and someone's characteristics. And what happens when we start to delve into esoteric astrology is that the person no longer becomes a personality or a vessel for the cosmos to project through, but the person becomes an actual soul that is integrating with the cosmos, that is integrating with the personality. So I felt a calling to do a series of all of the zodiacs and all of the energies of each sign, and just kind of go through the esoteric energy of each sign. So today we're talking about Taurus. All right, so what most people understand or know about Taurus is that she is, I'm calling her a she, but Taurus is naturally a feminine sign. And she is represented as the bull and also ruled by Venus. So Taurus is, and in its exoteric energy, very, very focused on the senses and very sensual, very in touch with the pleasures of life. And a lot of this energy has been related to Venus, when really in actuality Venus just co-rules Taurus. The main ruler of Taurus is the earth. The earth is the main exoteric ruler of Taurus, and Taurus, being ruled by earth, is very material, is very synced into just earthly things. You know, I always, whenever I meet a Taurus, I always feel like they have this very soothing energy about them, because they're just always calm and just at peace and just kind of chill and just content. It's like this contentment that they just ooze. So this is something that I feel a lot when I come into contact with Tauruses. And myself, I have a Taurus rising, so I'm also familiar with being in touch with this earthy energy and earthy energy, and how you can really tap into the senses of the earthly energy. So in the exoteric sense, Taurus is going to be very connected to the earth and understand the earth easily and effortlessly. A Taurus is the type of person that just knows, you know, when it's about to rain, or just their moods usually coalesce with the weather or the way the earth is like what phase the earth is in. Like the seasons as well will really affect a Taurus person. You know, if it's sunny, if it's summer, or if it's winter time and, you know, things are at a rest. Tauruses really pick up on this, and their just kind of entire nature is really based on their body's senses. So they're very connected to their bodies and the earth in this way, and this is why Tauruses, or people who have any kind of Taurus aspects in their chart, will have this is really deep connection to physical things and physicality, and being in touch with their body, you know. So this is Taurus in its exoteric energy, and I think it's really important to highlight that Taurus is ruled mainly by the earth instead of by Venus. And this is something that I have brought up before previously, many times before, that the true feminine energy of this planet is ruled by the earth and not by Venus. And Venus has taken on this role of dominance for feminine energy when we live on Earth, which doesn't really make much sense. With Earth being the place that we live on, it makes a lot more sense for Earth to be the primary dominant feminine force. So the reason why, and this is kind of like a whole nother topic that you can definitely learn more about. I'm going to be adding this to my 7 Commandments of Love course. So yeah, make sure you click the link in the description if you want to learn more about that. But yes, the primary energy of feminine energy is the Earth's energy, and it's not Venus's energy. And there's a lot of, you know, of the symbols that have been used for feminine energy for so long have been relative to Venus, and that's because this energy of Taurus hasn't been recognized for its relationship with the earth, and in also so many aspects spiritually and energetically, the earth is denied as actually being a force that has a influence on us, has a grave influence on us. So yeah, that is the gist of understanding the basics of Taurus energy, and the way that this Taurus energy can be in its lower self, so basically detached from its soul, or not connected to the soul, or hasn't integrated its soul into its personality yet, is when the physical things and pretentious things take on more value than the things that actually come from your soul. So Scorpio is reflected in Taurus, as Taurus is reflected in Scorpio, and we understand Taurus, we understand essentially the earth. And this really intertwines with my Lilith videos as well. We understand Taurus through Scorpio. We understand how to receive material things and create material possessions in our life through intrinsic development, through psychic development, through understanding our sexual power and connecting deeply to our soul. And so when this connection doesn't happen, what ends up happening is Taurus becomes overly infatuated with pretentious things and will detach the soul of a situation from the actual manifestation of a situation. So, you know, for example, a Taurus could really just be super obsessed with like their looks physically, or they could be super obsessed with how they show up, you know, physically, like what they have to show for themselves materially. And they take, so it's a double-edged sword, and it's kind of this way with every sign when we're understanding the lower self and the higher self. But the thing is, Tauruses take so much pride in their physical possessions, right? And that can be a good thing, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But when the soul is not integrated, the pride that they have in having material possessions and showing up with what they have becomes like a vanity measure. It becomes like a stamp for worth, like a stamp for whether or not something is worthy or not. So I've met people who have Taurus in their chart. Maybe it's Venus in Taurus, maybe Mercury in Taurus, wherever you find Taurus, there can be the potential to be over consumed with how something looks or at the surface versus what's really going on underneath and what's really brewing in order to like what's being seeded in order for that flower to sprout. So that is the main difference. And so when we move into the esoteric understanding of Taurus and the zodiac traits of Taurus and its energy, the esoteric ruler of Taurus, so we know that Taurus is ruled mainly by the earth, and the co-ruler of Taurus is Venus. We've got that down. Now we're moving into the higher self of Taurus and the main ruler of Taurus when it is active in its higher self. So another thing that I have just discovered, well, actually I didn't just discover it, but we went through this and kind of unveiled this in our clubhouse meet last Sunday, because it was a full moon in Scorpio, and we were talking about what we need to release so that we can become one with the higher self. And when we're thinking of the higher self, and also what came up during this conversation was that the higher self is your highest power. All right, so you need to think about your highest self as an aspect of God. Actually, okay, let me rewind a little bit. Bring it back to Scorpio when I mentioned earlier how Scorpio reflects into Taurus because they oppose each other. Scorpio rules sexuality. Sexuality is the ultimate power of this universe. Sexuality is creativity. Our sexual organs is what creates physical life, literal physical life from our being, just being here physically. So just seeing that replicated physically, we can understand that spiritually, that's how it works on the same level. Okay, a lot of people be trying to separate spirituality, what happens spiritually, from what happens physically. And this is what can happen when you are in your lower self and you have Taurus energy, or you're working, you're working with the Taurus or whatever, you can run into this kind of block where you don't understand that the spiritual is what creates and manifests into the physical, and the physical is what supports the spiritual. So this power that we have from our sexuality and creativity serves to be a power that can either be of the highest, a high power, or a low power. Meaning, how are we using this power in relationship to how we relate to ourselves? So this is how we can get into this higher self, lower self type of thing. But really, all we are sifting through is understanding that our highest power is literally our higher self. So being in your power, in your highest power, is you being in your goddess energy. Being in a low state of power, depleted of power, fighting for power, envious, jealous, overly possessive, which are all things that can fall between both Scorpio and Taurus, then we're dealing with the lower power. So coming into your higher self, which is what esoteric astrology is all about, and integrating the soul, is about understanding your highest power. So Taurus's highest power is relative to the esoteric ruler of this sign. So the esoteric planetary ruler of this sign is what most people call Vulcan, the sign of Vulcan. Vulcan is a forger. Okay, so Vulcan is a planet, again, another planet that kind of never really, or actually like an asteroid / planet. But again, it's a part of astrology that most people don't speak of. But when you're dealing with real, deep information, quality information, you'll hear things that you don't normally hear in trendy videos and things like that. So Vulcan is a forger. Vulcan forges things into existence. And this energy that Vulcan carries, think of it as a type of, actually I think of a volcano when I think of this energy, with the name Vulcan. But think of this extremely hot earth. It's so hot that when it dries, it forges itself into a type of metal, or a type of crystal, or a type of land, a body of land that's so fertile that if you were to, if it was to just have rain, get rained on, just get a bunch of, it's so fertile that it's gonna turn into like the Pacific Islands, like a body of land, masses of land that are just so fertile and abundant, and it's just so much life spewing from this land that was forged from this hot explosion. Or it does, sometimes it doesn't even need to be an explosion. It can just be a slow oozing of oomph. So this is the higher energy that Taurus can come into, and I see this energy playing out in when I think about Malcolm X, when I think about honestly, all I can think of is Malcolm X. But actually no, I'm lying, because there's this there's this frequency in Taurus that has a very high reverence for God, creation. And I feel like sometimes that reverence can be channeled or is channeled into like religion, or like they'll pick up some type of religion, or they'll pick up some type of faith to really ooze that high reverence into. But this is essentially where that comes from. And the power of Vulcan and intertwined with Taurus is so beautiful. It's literally the stubbornness of Taurus that has the ability to create a structure and foundation for creation that is impenetrable and sustains life on such a profound level. It supports and grounds life on such a vast level. This is also what gives Taurus this kind of regal energy. So having a Taurus rising, I definitely feel like royalty or like a very regal majority of the time, except it's different from Leo. Okay, because Leo has this regal royalty in a, or high priestess kind of vibe, but this is different. It's dealing with consciousness. This regalness is dealing with the sun and consciousness and the masculine energy, whereas this royalty and regalness is dealing with the earth and materialism and creativity in an earthy way. And it's kind of like, I'm here and I have always been here and I'm going to stay here for all eternity, and there's nothing you can do about it. Kind of like that. Whereas Leo's regalness will be like, I'm here, I've arrived to shine my light and have a party, and let's catch these vibes. And it's a lot more fiery and playful, whereas Taurus is a lot more grounded and oomph. It just has this oomph to it that it's like, yeah. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. It got this oomph. Yeah, this is what I love so much about this sign, and the potential, of really tapping in and activating this energy. When you are able to take something that is in your heart and pull it out of you and just kind of and mold it into what you project onto it. So it's kind of like that fierce love in your heart, but you found a way to make it so dense and material that when you open your hands and you show it to the world, it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's like literally God created man and woman and life and trees and plants, or like, it has that kind of feeling to it, that creation is so abundant and this earth is so magnificent, and we are a reflection of that same ability, that same capacity to forge beauty into existence, no matter if it was empty and just bare, or maybe if it was just sea, nothing but water. If it was just nothing was there, and now it's so much life and beauty. And so that's what I want you guys to take from this video and understanding Taurus in its esoteric energy, is that once Taurus taps in to its higher self, it's no longer concerned with, you know, superficial, vain, overly material kinds of things, but it's synced in, and it's connected to the earth, and it's connected to life and the birthing of creation, which is a whole nother type of vibe and frequency. And so if you are a Taurus, or you have Taurus energy, or you know somebody that is a Taurus, you know, share this video with them. Make sure you know, you watch this video so that you can understand your Taurus friend or person better, and know that, you know, someone coming into their higher nature is always going to happen on their own accord, and it's always going to happen based off of when they decide to tap into their highest power. And so yeah, let me know if you guys like this video. Leave me a comment, let me know if you have any questions, and any other video topics that you may be interested in, you know, hearing from me. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.